Ladies and gentlemen, Ian just responded to Tyler, the Creator. And do we got a new beef? I hope we don't. But I'm going to be here if there's diss tracks dropped between Ian and Tyler. If you don't know, Tyler, the Creator, came out, gave his opinion on the new era of hip-hop, talk about how they really don't have the same, passion. It's a real microwavable type stuff. And he talked about Ian basically mocking Atlanta culture, mocking certain artists. And Ian responded, let's get into it.
Ever since Tyler, the Creator's new interview with Maverick Carter hit the internet,
Tyler went crazy.
Hip-hop has shifted because of Tyler's comments that called out a lot of the horrible stuff going on in today's hip-hop world and music industry as a whole. And at the front of all this,
and I do agree with most
his comments about Ian, as Tyler seemed to be alluding to specifically him when citing the rappers who have currently contributed to the problems in hip-hop. And now ever since all this, some people have been praising Tyler for speaking his mind and seemingly standing against some of the half-baked products the industry has been trying to sell us. Meanwhile, a lot of other people have argued that Tyler, the Creator, is now old and out of touch, and he is now pretty much hating on younger artists for doing
the classic Uno reverse of you grew old in a culture or in a thing. You grew old doing something, so your opinion on that thing doesn't matter. The classic Uno reverse.
Something very similar to what he did when he was coming up, and now in the storm of all of this, before the dust could really even settle, we have heard from the guy who has been at the center.
The one thing I will say that makes me mad at the people saying that Tyler, the Creator, Ian is doing this. No, it's not. I feel like this is coming from people who had a very, outside look at Tyler, the Creator's come up. Because he wasn't like Ian. He was actually the opposite. He's saying that Ian is doing things to basically mock, cosplay, and recreate what is the most popular things in a culture without having any actual passion or whatever in it. Tyler, the Creator, and Odd Future were counterculture. They were the opposite of what was popular or what was big. That I don't niggas. No, they weren't. Ian's not doing the same thing, and he's not getting mad at him for the same thing he did. It's actually the opposite. Tyler's always had this take
of all this conversation because of Tyler, the Creator, and Ian, as after there has been so much debate on the nature of his music and if he should even be respected in the hip-hop world. Ian seemingly responded to Tyler and all of his criticism, but not in the way you would expect, because he didn't address these comments or any of the controversy he has been thrown into head-on. But instead, he just continued doing what he has been, which was to give the world more music, as he just dropped a new song on social media called Shut Down. And now with this track and move from Ian,
which is clearly a shot to Tyler. I'm looking at this now like it's some sort of battle. Hey, hip hop is a sport, and sometimes you get a little Cold War, huh? Sometimes they don't diss each other back and forth. But I do think he is responding with this song. If y'all want me to react to it, I probably will. But let's see if that's going to be enough.
Down. And now with this track and move from Ian, I think from the optics of it, with all the controversy and narratives being pushed around him treating hip-hop and the very culture the genre has been founded on as a joke, getting right into the booth and having a new song ready with some visuals to accompany it on one level could definitely speak volumes to helping your cause when it comes to really being serious and dedicated as a rapper. But with all this said, when it comes to the actual track, the song itself has done nothing to make this moment any better for Ian, because this...
Yeah, that's where it's like at the end of the day, it's the same thing with the Drake and the Kendrick thing. At the end of the day, your strategy you could think could be great, but the execution is what it is. The only way you truly respond to Tyler, the Creator, and saying this, your song kind of has to, either you make a full Tyler, the Creator diss song, or you drop the best song you ever. Because if you drop something that sounds cosplay, then you kind of make it more right.
Despite just turning to the mic and hoping that the power and merit of his music would show the entire world that he is a serious rapper who should be treated as a part of the genre's future, Ian made one of the most basic and generic sounding tracks that any rapper in his lane could have.
Looks like White Iverson.
His response to this moment has gotten so much hate and has seemed to only make Tyler, the Creator, look even more correct about this entire situation. And some of the lyrics on this song seemingly allude to the fact that he is up next and that Tyler or anybody hating on him are just not with the times and are simply trying to hold him back because they can't accept that the music industry and trends in rap music right now have progressed from where they were years ago. And that the...
I don't, if this was Gucci Mane, if this was like 21 Savage, more of like a traditional hip hop artist, I would understand they get mad because the sound is changing. Oh, it's no. You're talking about Tyler the Creator. Tyler the Creator. I don't understand this. Tyler the Creator used to get made fun of because he was so different. Remember the DJ Khaled, him thing? He used to get made fun of because he was so different. Because he was so not what the rest of the world sounded like. When was the last time Tyler the Creator came out, dropped a song, a project, and it sounded like everything else? What? I don't understand this narrative that's being built. If Tyler the Creator was the perfect person to say this because he's not the traditional rapper. And he doesn't make the traditional sound and never has.
Music industry and trends in rap music right now have progressed.
He's never followed trends. That's... what?
That's from where they were years ago. And that the people against him are becoming old news.
Y'all hear Flower Boy?
Not just look bad, but pretty embarrassing. Because in this time where everyone is looking at this artist who has...
Dog, we're talking about an artist who has... I'm not even sure, but at one point came out the closet... We're talking about a rap. You niggas is acting like you talking about some rigid nigga from New York who used to rap in 2006. Like, no, like, Ian is more of a stereotypical rap sound than Tyler. So it's like, I don't get this narrative.
Mysterious rise to fame in the music industry and questioning why they've been able to build so much hype around him. He dropped a response track to all this criticism that, for all intensive purposes, reinforces all the points made against him right now, as this track just sounds like a stripped-down version of the Sonic World that somebody like Yeat played in throughout the earlier part of the 2020s decade.
And
but
it
now,
looks
with all
like
that
White
said,
Iverson.
this entire story and controversy does not stop with Ian, his response to Tyler the Creator, or all of the drama he has been facing. Because while it may be easy to look at Ian and his music and just write him off, in the greater sense, this doesn't really accomplish anything for hip-hop as an art form, or for Tyler the Creator's actual cause for these comments, which was to say that hip-hop needs to start getting back to caring about the actual craft and away from all the gimmicks. Because
I disagree with that. I love fantastic hip-hop, the way all of these, good journalism, the way that you're really breaking down and having these conversations in hip-hop. Hip-hop's in the best place it's been for decades. Let's keep it real. We having these conversations means something. I actually don't agree with you that this doesn't help or speak to what Tyler the Creator's saying. He actually is. Now, I don't like how the whole conversation became about Ian, but in a way, the backlash Ian's getting, the way the culture is treating what he's doing, even with the song that he dropped, is actually an example of the opposite of what Tyler the Creator is saying. The culture is having a fight, is having a pushback, where before we just used to basically accept any and everything, even if it was bad for us, even if the people would come into hip-hop, use hip-hop, then 3 years from them they're country artists and acting like hip-hop I was just possessed by the devil when I was doing that, like that type shit, and you really end up hurting hip-hop more than they helped it. So no, I now this isn't going to change what he's saying, but I think the block isn't just hot for Ian. Pay attention to, I think everybody who not rapping right now, the block is kind of hot.
Actual craft and away from all the gimmicks. Because at the end of the day,
I think
before we can ever look at Ian and try to write him off on any level, don't you think it's important to question why somebody like him hasn't just rose to the place he is at, but more specifically has been hyped up by the music industry and media as one of its most pivotal players?
The question
I mean, why as a music industry has somebody that from the cover of his debut mixtape literally made a recreation of one of the most iconic memes out there, to his viral moments, which pretty much consist of him recreating other viral moments like Lil Yachty's concert walkout, entered such a high stratosphere in the hip-hop spotlight? Because in years past, rappers like these who didn't take things as serious were always casted in their own corner, but this is not the case at all anymore. While we don't know the exact...
And I think that's why what the reaction is actually what is an example of what Tyler the Creator saying. The way that people are responding to this is actually an example of the culture finally analyze. We're the only, even just music genre, that anybody can join, which is beautiful, but we need to start getting to a part where we kind of police it a little bit. Now, everybody has the right to do it if your intentions are pure. If your intentions aren't pure, we can push back Every other country does it. Look at how hard Lil Nas X did. And I don't even agree with all that, but I'm saying every rock does it. Everyone. You don't just come into other musical genres and then they just accept you, whether right or wrong, because sometimes they overshoot. And a lot of that just be dumb shit. With us, we undershoot. And a lot of times, look at how many some certain artists who made it the other side and just kind of don't do rap anymore and kind of just make fun of rap now.
The reason why this is happening behind the scenes and what conversations are going down to put something
this
like
conversation is happening
doing
with
in
Drake
front of our faces
right now.
If you look around the room in hip hop and see that while Ian is getting all the hate for pretty much making full-on commercialized and industry-funded meme rap right now. This is a trend in practice that spans so much further than just what he is doing, and when you really break it down. The reason why Ian is getting so much hate and backlash is not because of the less serious form of rap he is making, because let's face it, throughout all the eras that hip-hop has been able to cultivate a presence on the internet, there have always been people who parody the genre or don't take it as seriously.
I would argue that Ugly God and this Playboy Cardi nigga had way more difficulty being accepted in hip-hop than Ian. I was there for all this, bro. I just go back and look at the Drewski interview with him. Go back and look at certain interviews with this guy. I can't remember his name. Go back and look at Ugly God. I think they had, this is like Ian's first actual mainstream backlash. These niggas were birthed into it. Oh, you use the darkness as your power. I was born into it. That they were born into the darkness. Like,
but instead,
and that's
why
kind
Ian
of
is getting so much hate is because the music industry has propped him up as so much more than he ever was supposed to be. And this is where the real problem unfolds. And this is the angle and takeaway this situation needs to be looked at from. Because if Ian falls off after this, it'll virtually do nothing. He'll just be replaced by the next avatar. But with the music industry right now, what they are doing with most of these new rappers is trying to take a half-baked and underdeveloped product and pass it off to us as something so much greater. And as for all intents and purposes.
And a lot of these people making this music, I'm starting to believe y'all don't even like this music. On show, like, and I'm not just talking about Ian, I'm talking about the Ice Spices, I'm talking about a lot of people. Sometimes I believe that y'all are just products. Y'all don't really care about this. Like, if y'all could be making more money selling, I feel like if Ice Spice could make more money selling makeup, we would, like, tomorrow, we would never hear another song from her. And I think that's weird. You know what I mean?
Meme rappers like Ian and even someone like Ice Spice are being propped up and hyped within the hip-hop world more and more as these greater forces that should have these major headlining stories and publications about how they are spearheading the future of music. I mean, the audience is not dumb, and everybody is starting to realize that this is the image they are trying to sell us. And at the end of the day, this is the reality that's causing fans and rappers like Tyler to become more livid, because for the first time ever on the level we are seeing things at, the music industry is pretty much trying to take what is the hip-hop equivalent of fast food and force it down fans' throats as a 5-star meal. And as we
One thing I will say, though, that this is not a new thing. There's always been these rappers who've came through and tried to basically stick the culture up and use it for a lick. I think what's happening, and I keep saying this, bro, I think the temperature changed after Drake versus Kendrick. Every couple years, every 4 to 5 years, the culture completely changed if you pay attention. I think this is the new change of the guard. Because I feel if Tyler makes this same exact statement 3 years ago, not many people agree with him. Even if they agree with them. Basically, the people who agree with them will be drowned out by the people who, the casual fans who don't really care. And I think the people who don't understand what Tyler's saying right now and think he's just hating are casual fans. So they don't understand, they don't care about the integrity. They don't understand why it's important to protect it. They don't understand why it's important to maybe even separate it because they don't care. But I think now the people who care about this music, voices are carrying louder or just as loud as the people who don't care. And it's feeling like louder. That's why I love that Tyler said this and we're having this conversation.
We're all recognizing that with rappers like Ice Spice, Ian, Jack Harlow, Lil Mabu, Sexy Red, and so many more that the actual product just does not line up with where the industry is trying to say they are at. It is creating this disconnect with what is actually sacred to both fans and artists alike. And
also, I don't want to, because remember, before the Drake and Kendrick battle, when it was Ice Spice and all these people running shit, we were all having the conversation that hip-hop was dead. So I don't want to sit here and act like what Tyler's saying is wrong. No, when we let y'all niggas have the wheel, Y'all niggas almost killed the entire culture. So now, nigga, fight Tyler. I love it.
The result of all
I just don't want him.
You're
I
not seeing
don't want Tyler to come out and be like, "No, I apologize." Stand on your D, nigga. You say some real shit, bro.
Well, it's like the one we are living in right now, where most fans have turned against artists like Ian and Ice Spice, and have
Facts.
rightfully called them out for being rappers who, at the bare minimum, are making some of the most lazy and
culture
least innovative
shifted
music
right
out
on
there
them.
right now, and in a vacuum. These artists existing is absolutely fine, and if they were reserved to being treated as less serious artists whose only purpose was to mindlessly entertain and not offer anything else, they would probably be embraced by most people, or at least respected. When they are getting nominated for Grammys, seen linking up with the
Ice
biggest rappers
Spice
in the world.
has 4 Grammy nominations. Yeah, see, that's why it's important. Tyler got to talk. That's important.
In a way that almost seems
man.
set up, and then
I don't
being
even damn
pushed
about
as
Grammys
these
either.
forces that only
But
greats
damn.
in decades past were, despite the actual music they are putting out being so lacking in any sort of sign of quality or potential that would actually inspire audiences. At this point, as Tyler is waking audiences up to all of this, people have fully realized this, not just through Tyler's words, but through Ian's laughable response. But now within this moment in time, no matter what you're thinking, I think we can all tell that
haven't
something
seen
is
that
off
Ian
in the music
song.
industry, but now, the next steps have to be for listeners to not attack Ian, but to actually hold the music industry and record labels accountable for trying to deceive us into listening to this low bar of artists as our primary players for the future of rap, as opposed to developing real talent and then thinking that we will be behind whatever ridiculous things they do. Just
I low-key don't agree with that either. I understand that strategy of, don't attack the artists who are making the thing. Try to attack the brands. No. The way that record labels care, the way you I'll put it like this: the open backlash and us as a culture pushing against this microwavable shit is hitting harder than us making think pieces about why record label. Trust me. This is gonna make them quit. If they keep feeding us this and we keep, man, get this shit out of here, right? They're eventually gonna flop. They're eventually gonna shift over. What has to happen is niggas don't hate support them, because hate support is still support. Don't just hate support the nigga. That if you don't want him to be something. So
just because they are telling us we should love all these people. If we can end this trend or speak out against the music industry feeding us these low-quality, cheaply produced garbage artists instead of helping the world discover quality new talent, who although require more resources to grow and develop, will ultimately be worth the return when they are actually able to reach some sort of creative breakthrough and become a genuine talent that can sell more than 30,000 copies of a record in its first week. So as it stands, with the way the music industry is going,
I'm
the smoke
telling
and
you, niggas
mirrors
ain't
that they've been
bumping this.
trying to trick us with.
And I'm telling you, them album sales is a reflection of the culture right now. See, niggas ain't listen to that bullshit. Man, shout out to the culture right now, bro. Thank you, Drake. Thank you, Kendrick. Thank you, Cole, even. Actually, thank you, Drake. Thank you, Kendrick. Thank you, Future. Thank you, Ross. You feel me? Because y'all helped change this, bro.
Are no
I
longer
swear.
working. And as people realize what is in front of them and see that the industry is making no effort whatsoever to invest in genuine talent, this is only going to push people further away from hip-hop, which is a horrible thing. So now with all this said, let me know. What do you think about Ian's response, and do you agree with my assessment of the greater problem with
Now
this entire situation?
I have to react to this. I have
Which
to
is less
hear
about
what
the
he's saying.
artist and more about the industry setting this up to happen in the first place. I can't wait to hear what you have to say. And if you want to hear why Tyler, the Creator, actually...
Oh, I have to hear what he's. I have to hear his song. And if it's a bad song, it was his response to this backlash. He kind of just made Tyler, the Creator, right. Put in the comment section if you think what you think. And if you think that, if you are happy that these niggas getting yeeted out of this culture, I'm not talking about yeet either. I'm just saying, if you're as happy as I am, let me know.